Timmy, hi.
Hello.
Thanks for making the
Hi.
time in between Valorant 24-hour streams. How you doing?
I'm good.
Good, good. How was the last 24-hour stream?
I was like, it was good. It was good. I had a good time for sure.
Nice, nice. And then you played a tournament right after that?
Yeah, I put in the NRG tournament.
Nice, nice. Cool.
Mhm.
So we're going to go through a bunch of interrogation questions because you're being held hostage for an hour. So we'll start
Yeah.
off growing up in the Bay. How's living in the Bay and how is growing up in the Bay?
Um, Growing up, I mean, I don't really like remember a lot of it. I mean, I kind of moved out when I was 5. But I mean, from like the memories I had there, it was okay. I mean, like I felt like that's when like I went outside the most and like had a good time with like my like family members, you know, like my cousins and definitely my brother and sister. But then just living there in general, when like, you know, came back for like the like a month there, for, like like a streamer like bonding, it was pretty good. Had a good time. I definitely feel like it's different from Texas. I don't really like ever go out, walk, or kind of just go to restaurants and eat with friends. I kind of just like in Texas, I just go out and, you know, just like kind of just chill. It's never like there's a lot of things to do in the Bay, so I feel like it's definitely a good experience living there.
Nice. So you had some time living in a gaming house, right?
Yeah.
So what was that like?
It was cool. I mean, like, we were all streamers, so like, I was able to like talk about like my day, like, oh, like this happened on stream, or like just having like coming up with ideas like that I can do it individually on my stream, or you know, like stuff that we can do together. Other than that, it was, I felt like I felt like at home with other people who knew what I was doing and doing the same thing for that reason.
Like, do you have friends outside of this crazy Twitch and esports world? Like that, like understand it or don't understand it?
I have my best friend Josh. He understands it. He's like he plays video games, but pretty much besides him, I don't really have any other friends. Like in yeah, like I kind of lost most of them because I just spent most of my time, you know, like on like streaming and focusing on my career. And if they didn't play games, then you know, I barely talked to them.
Well, I think you've done a pretty good job, especially with when it comes to just kind of production quality. I mean, other than people like Sushi Dragon and those kind of guys, like you've kind of created your own look and feel, and you've just built upon that, like, you know, week after week, month after month, by building out your 2XL, you know, stream decks. So, yeah, where are you right now with streaming and creating content, and like, and where do you want to go from there?
I think I'm at a good point. Like so I stream Apex mainly, but now that Valorant is out for like the beta testing, you know, I'm, you know, playing Valorant, you know, kind of having pretty fun with it. You know, I think I'll be streaming it a lot more and trying like to get better and better at it. But definitely like both of the games are different, so I'll still be streaming Apex and Valorant. But like overall content, like I added like recently, you know, new like 25 new like memes to the channel. I feel like I'm like experiencing like better content. I felt like I know what to press. You know, like I have things to press whenever there's like stale moments, and I keep like the stream a little bit more entertaining rather than just kind of have just only the gameplay sometimes. But like that's only for Apex in my opinion, because like I feel like I compete at like a high level and I understand like what like when to do certain things because I know what's gonna come up, rather than in like Valorant I'm still learning it, so I don't have like, oh, like I know what I can do right here, like what meme I can put up next, you know.
I mean, it's kind of like this orchestration dance of like you anticipate exactly what's going to happen, so you're ready with the macro.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, what is the process of like building macro, like figuring out like, you know, what is that thought process, and what's the research, getting it, and then implementing it?
So I pretty much try to find stuff that are funny. Like I think everything like rage related, you know, is probably usable. Like it's pretty like often like, you know, like if you die, you can put anything that's pretty funny. But like there's a lot of clips of like just people that just don't work, and like people don't realize that like I spend maybe about a full day just watching clips. You know, like if I like take a day off, I watch clips of other streamers, see like the most recent clips or top clips, and then just I literally just look at based off the reaction, not even the gameplay, and seeing if I can like relate that to something like oh, you know, if I ever died, or if someone in my chat says something weird, you know, like there's a lot of people, if I play any other game but Apex, they're usually like, you know, play Apex, go play Apex, right? So I found like a Dr. Disrespect meme where it's like, stop asking to change the game. You know, it fits because that's what people are gonna say in my chat, you know? But it's just like certain words, certain lines that like kind of fit perfectly for like what's going on in like my community.
You've talked about that you got frustrated with Apex a little bit. What are your feelings about Apex now? Yeah.
I really enjoy the game. I think I'm like one of the very few streamers that kind of just actually enjoy playing the game right now. Like I could stream Apex and have a good time still, and stream it for like 8 hours or 12 hours still. And I think it's the reason is because I don't really like, I don't like get as frustrated. Like I get frustrated on my gameplay. That's the only thing. Like the game itself doesn't really bother me. Like there was multiple metas in the game where they were just like the scout meta were super like broken, the PK meta, but I actually just didn't care for that. Like it's not the game's problem that I'm angry with it.
Oh,
Okay.
whoopsies. All right, we're back. And also we corrected it so you're not jelly beans with your with your overlay.
Yeah.
So pretty sure you don't play WoW. So
That's
so
funny.
sorry. You were one of the few players that actually likes playing Apex. You play like 8 hours or stream 8 hours a day, and you actually still like it.
Yeah. So I actually like, enjoy the game. So I don't really get mad about the actual gameplay itself. Like even when I played like other games like League of Legends, like there's champions that are really broken. Even in this game, right, when like Gibraltar got like a big buff, or like the guns get like big buffs, it's like yes, it's like annoying, and if I died to it, it's like kind of like, you know, like oh my gosh type of thing, like again. But I don't really actually get like mad or tilted because of that reason. It's more of like if I should like I know how well I am as a player, and I should be like like that's how good I am. Like I should be hitting those type of shots, but I miss, and that's what frustrates me, and that's what kind of like tilts me the most. But other than that, I kind of never really get tilted off that mindset. You know what I mean? Like of oh blame the game, stuff like that. Like I joke around like oh my god, like you know like I hate Apex, but like in reality I really enjoy playing Apex, and I'll definitely be playing it, you know, like here and there. But as Valorant is out right now, I'm definitely having like a good time with it because it's like fresh, it's new content. Other than that, I think Apex just needs to like, in my opinion, just release more things. You know, like if they release like a new legend or a new like gun that's just really broken, I wouldn't care. I would actually have fun playing with it because it's like it's a new gun. It's something new, you know, rather than having nothing there and they like buff. Like if they buff and like nerf certain things, I won't really like it's the same game at the end of the day. I wouldn't really enjoy my time there, you know.
We're gonna
As much.
get into a couple more personal questions again. So first off, how'd you get into gaming?
Around 4 or 5 years old, I was watching my brother play games. He was playing like a shooter called like Soldier Front or a game called Maple Story. Those are like two games that he was playing, and I didn't know like what to do at the time. Like I was like, make me account, please make me account. I want to play, you know. And eventually he made me like a Maple Story account, and I played Maple Story for like ever since. Like I think once I got into League of Legends, that's probably when I stopped. And that was around like season 3 of League of Legends. But yeah, I kind of just strictly played like Maple Story, played Soldier Front here and there. But like the game was like not fully like developed, and it gave you viruses on like any computer that you played it on. You know, we went through a little bit of computers, you know, of, you know, the Trojan virus, but other than that, I had a great time on it. But yeah, that's kind of like where it started. And then I think I played League of Legends like ever since season 3. I always played it. And then from here and there, I would like get off and play like another game. Like I played CSGO. I started like maining CSGO, then going back to League of Legends, going back to CSGO. Eventually, like in shooters, I was able to get to the highest like ranking possible for the games. So like in CSGO, I got global, and then after that, it kind of got boring. You know, like yeah, I could have gone to like ESA or like Face It and I competed in there, but it wasn't like for me, I was competitive, but not like competitive to the point where I wanted to go pro. So then I kind of just stopped, and then went back to like League of Legends, and then I you know, tried to do my best there. League of Legends was really hard, so I only got to like Diamond 1. And then, you know, PUBG came out, and then Realm Royale, and that's when I started taking like streaming like serious there. And then went back to League, and then I went to Apex. Pretty much that.
But you also play Fortnite too?
I did not play Fortnite.
Oh,
I played it for like less than like 2 weeks. I was just playing that, and then I just quit. I was like, nah, I'm good.
No, sir.
No, sir. Yeah. Beefitter? That's pretty funny.
Was that just randomly just like popped out of his mouth, or what exactly was that?
I actually have no idea. Like, he's never said that like on Discord. Like, he just said it, and it was just so funny. Like, everybody started making like a meme out of it. Like, everyone kept on copy pasting. So it was just so funny. I don't know, like it was so random, and like we all knew, like I don't think I was playing with the camera, but like I was definitely like smiling. It was like funny, like I heard it and I smiled, but I didn't like laugh or anything like that, like out loud. I was kind of just like thinking, like I was like chuckling to myself. Yeah.
Nice. So you got a chance to meet all the Golden Guardians crew a couple months ago, right? Well, right before the whole coronavirus thing. How was that trip?
I had a good time. I mean, it was a good time to meet like other people on the org. You know, get out for once, because usually I just stay in my house. Like everyone asks me how my quarantine is, and I'm kind of used to it. Like I've been staying inside for like months anyways, so I mean, it's like a reason for me to go outside and meeting like, you know, obviously the org. It was a nice experience, kind of like taking trips, but you know, I think like just staying inside is just how it is for me.
I feel like gamers have been practicing quarantine for all their lives.
Yeah, that's why we're not like freaking out or anything.
So Shroud, why is he the best streamer?
Big. I don't know. I mean, I watched him pretty much my entire life. I used to like, obviously like back then I used to watch like Minecraft YouTubers, but other than like when I got into CSGO, like after League, I started watching like Shroud, because you know he was like a CSGO pro, and obviously like I wanted to get better individually against like my friend groups, and just in general I wanted to be like the best. Like and at the time Shroud was like the guy who was just insane. Everyone like loved, and he was just like the guy who just was inhuman, you know? And I kept on watching him over and over, and eventually like, I learned things from him. I got better myself. and his overall kind of just like mindset was just very like positive. Like he never really raged. Like it was very like very few often I ever saw him rage. I mainly watched his YouTube, but sometimes I went I went to like his like Twitch channel, watched it for like maybe like an hour, and then usually just got off. Because like mainly when you watch like streamers, like they don't always like pop off like 24/7 on their streams. It's like there's like highlights, like, oh, in this 30 minutes he popped off, but then in the next 30 minutes he might just be like, like whatever, and then he pops off again 30 minutes later. So it's kind of like you kind of just have to like watch the YouTubes, because there's always highlights of those like each 30 minutes like increments. And like Shroud was just always popping off, and I literally watched like every single time his YouTube uploaded a video. I was like instant like watching his videos at school, never actually doing my homework or anything like that. I was just always playing, and I don't know, I just really felt like he was like one of the streamers who just didn't complain about anything. Like yeah, he'll give his opinion, like, oh, like this guy's broken, but he'll never really complain about how that character is just like should be removed from the game or something like that. Like those like type of like mindsets of like always complaining kind of always bothered me, and that's why I never really like kind of like expressed that way on my stream. I just gave my opinion about it, and like I could see why they don't do it, but I feel like if they did do it, it would be better for these reasons.
At what point did you decide that you wanted to be a streamer?
Cause I started streaming a really long time ago. I streamed like League first, and like I was a variety streamer, and I was just trying to sing. I was messing around. People told me I was good at games, and then people told me I was kind of funny. When I started streaming, that definitely was not it. I definitely felt like I was really weird, really cringe, like looking back at the videos. And even at the time, I felt like that was not the move. If I could like remove that time period of like just like any evidence of my streaming career, I would. But I think it was good practice, because I'm glad that I practiced that era for Apex, because now I knew like what to do, like what I needed to do to stream, like how to read chat, how to be like interactive, like the strategies of streaming. There's a lot to it, and I learned that at that time, and I'm glad I learned it when Apex wasn't out, because I feel like I wouldn't be as successful as I am now if I didn't go through that. Definitely, I feel like I made it, and I wanted to start streaming is after I went to college. I was never like a studious person. I went to like in high school, obviously I was watching YouTube videos of Shroud, or I was playing games. I was sleeping because like I stayed up until like 5 a.m. the night before. But definitely I wanted to start streaming after like my first year of college, because I wasn't doing well. I really wasn't, and I knew that I wouldn't become anything or wouldn't enjoy anything if I did like a real job, as in like software engineering, which I was trying to major. And then I started streaming once the summer started, and then I really felt like I was doing something, and then that's probably when I like realized that I wanted to be a streamer.
So what strategies do you use for streaming?
Typically, like for me myself, I never wanted to come off as one of those guys who like, it's like a very common thing, clout chase, right? Like people like, you try to talk to these big streamers, or you talk to them, you try to play with them all the time, so they would like you or they would host you. Like I never went with that strategy. I was like, I felt like that just didn't come right as a person. Like when I was like younger and I first started streaming, definitely I was like that. Like I won't lie. I definitely come out as a cloud chaser. I try to do my best to like promote. I didn't know how to do it, and that's why I like I said, I messed up when I first started streaming. But definitely that learning period kind of built me, and it was good, because I would have probably done that when Apex first came out. And sorry, I was reading chat. It's funny. It definitely would have been bad. So I came with a different approach. I was like, I'll just do myself. I'll just stream and I'll play the game by myself. And other than that, we'll like just see how it goes. And people started like, oh my god, you're so good at the game. I never asked anyone to ever play. I never like played with anybody like, hey, you want to ever play? I just played by myself for months straight, and eventually people were like, hey, I want to team with you, or I want to play with you. And these are like people who are bigger streamers. They started knowing who I was, and then, you know, I always let them ask. It wasn't because like I didn't like, care about them. It's just I never wanted to come off like, hey, you know, like I want like your viewers. I want to like see that type of guy. And yeah.
Do you see yourself more as a streamer or a pro player?
I feel like I'm both. I come on. I have that entertaining side that people can always like come to my stream and like laugh about, like kind of just like laugh at me because I'm doing something stupid. But I'm definitely very competitive because I want to like always get better. Like I talk to like my teammates. My teammates know how much I want to get better as an individual, and even like my girlfriend. Like I tell her, I'm like, oh, I'm not playing that well. You know, like I'm like getting worse as the days go by, or I'm not improving. So I always like to, I guess, put myself in like this isolation of I want to get better. Like I want to practice. I sit alone shooting at like the walls in like the games, or like shooting at like the bots, and kind of just learning actually like how to play the game correctly. And I just like not a lot of people just do that. They just go play in, they just play like back to back games, and then they just get off and they think that they're gonna get better. But me, I just sit alone. I sit and like kind of just like learning, like, oh, after like 2 seconds of shooting, my spray will go like this, you know what I mean? And then after like 3 seconds, kind of just mentally counting in my head, it'll go to the left. And that's when I learn like, oh, okay, so like I'm like mentally like, training myself to like move my mouse certain ways. And that's like, I feel like I'm very competitive, but not to the point where like I want to like compete, you know? Like I kind of do, but not really. It's weird.
So then, do you focus more on mechanics than strategy when you're
Yes.
alone? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like raw mechanics, and then when it comes to like strategies, I let someone else kind of do it. Even though I'm like the IGL of my team, like I have smart plays. It's just I kind of expect my teammates to know exactly what I'm thinking, and I don't know how to like explain and execute it well enough for them. Like I'm like, oh, Devin, you should do this, you know, like, or Devin, like you should have done this when like we pushed in. I didn't like I wanted him to do this exact plan, but I never told him how to do it, you know, and that's sometimes the problem with my like IGLing.
So it sounds like you want to hit a certain threshold of skill, that it's less about being the absolute best player, but it's more about like being really good to the level in which that you can enjoy playing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't want to be bad. I just want to always just keep dying. Like I want to always hold my own, but sometimes I can't. But I want to also like, you know, always hold my own and sometimes have the pop-offs rather than just always being like the best player. Because I feel like that doesn't really matter sometimes. Because you can't really like fully enjoy yourself on the game if you always think that you're the best, you know, or trying to be the best.
So is your mind constantly thinking about entertainment and content, or is it thinking about the game, or is it a blend of both?
When the game first comes out, it's definitely like I'm trying to get better. You know, I don't really care about content. Like I want people to like realize, like see like the growth in me, because like I'm a quick learner. I'm like really bad at the beginning, but then I improve very quickly because I'm like focused on it. I want to see people like see that improvement skyrocketing quickly. But once I get good, then I focus on the entertainment. Then I'm like, oh, you know, like maybe I'll throw right here on purpose, like for Apex, like, oh, I know I'll die right here, so I purposely like die on purpose so I can make good content, you know.
Escape from Tarkov, why is it so good?
I actually enjoyed the game a lot. I think it was a game that just didn't come easy. There was no tutorial. There's no like how to do this, how to do that. There's no practice tool where you can go like shoot, you know, like, oh, I can just sit in this corner and just shoot at the wall infinitely, right? You have to purchase those ammos. Each bullet kind of count. So it was like, I wasn't good at the beginning, and I still wasn't good as I improved and played it more. So that you just had to go in and I was never good at those like survival games. Like I wanted to keep my gear, and if I died, I was mad. You know, I was like I spent so much time working for that like gear I got, and like the money I saved for it. Um, like dying kind of tilted me in that game, and that was like why I enjoyed it, because it was a game that I never experienced. Like most games I played, like CS:GO, it was like you always had what you had, and then you buy that stuff, or like League of Legends, you started with nothing, and then you slowly went like you like purchase your items. You know, there was never like I got this and then I lost it. You know, I never had played those type of games.
Is the Golden Griefers gonna stick as a name?
Probably. I think every single time I play a game, I'm usually the one who griefs. Like I either throw or int, so probably.
When it comes to developing skits, how's that development going?
Skits as in like the TikToks?
I think is that what you were talking about? You were talking about like that you really wanted to focus on building more skit content.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I kind of just like I watch TikToks here and there. Usually the popular ones are, you know, pop up on Twitter or Instagram. I rarely go on the actual like TikTok app and watch stuff, but I don't know. I just try to find what's funny and do my best to recreate it in a good way. Like I saw like TikTok on Instagram, and then my friend's merch came out, and I kind of made a TikTok of it, and it was pretty funny. You know, like people enjoyed it, and I try to do my best at making like what's relevant at the time, but never really kind of just make it out of like nowhere, you know?
So before Valorant came out, you actually switched to CS:GO to kind of prep for shooting. How did that go, and what did you focus on when you were in CS:GO?
I feel like CS:GO and Valorant, right? They're very similar. Like they're actually the same game, but the problem with Valorant is I watch like these big streamers or these pro players from CS:GO, and they know what they do. Like they know what to do, like their crosshair placement, like how to shoot, right? That's all there, you know, like it transfers over. But the thing is that they don't know how to do is abilities and how to use their abilities efficiently, because, you know, like I didn't have any of that. It was all just, you know, like smooth CS:GO movement with like B hopping and like kind of like positioning and crosshair placement, you know, and that transfers over. But like the ability side was like from like Overwatch, right? Because everyone says it's like a mixture of Overwatch and CS:GO, but Overwatch people, they didn't have to do that. They're like shaking their mouse. Like you watch XQC play, like playing Winston, when he pops that ultimate, he's just like swinging his mouse left and right, you know, like he doesn't have like that, oh, I need to stand still to shoot, you know, like if I'm just gonna run around and just hold left click, it doesn't work in this type of game. You can't do that. So playing like Apex, that kind of had a lot of like movement and like grappling, or like, you know, like redirecting with movement. It's like I knew how to like use like the abilities and stuff like that to like get my way around. But I also play CS:GO to also like know I need to stand still. I need to have crosshair placement for certain things. So I think having like the practice for both games kind of definitely helped.
So what are your goals going into Valorant?
Pop off, just have some cool plays, viral clips, and that's it. You know, just show everybody like what I can do as a player, and you know, show them like the memes, like my unique type of stream.
Cool. So you look at the top clips. Who's doing the best Valorant content for YouTube and Twitch?
Me, not kidding. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think. I think Shroud, honestly. Like, no, like not just be like a Shroud fanboy or anything. Like watching his like gameplay with like Jet, and just overall like his pro CS:GO like mindset. Like he definitely plays it really well. You know, Skadoodle, like his Viper gameplay is like, it was very, I versed him in a customs game. It was very oppressive. And I haven't got to like watch every single person or play against everybody, but like, you know, like there's multiple people who are doing really well right now, like Dizzy or Ace, you know, like their overall gameplay is like very like admiring to watch. You know, it's like, oh, I didn't see that when I was like experiencing the game myself. Obviously they have more time on the game because they had that weekend before, but like, it's like, oh, you could shoot through that or you can play through that. And like watching the devs verse like Summit and Shroud and stuff like that, it was like really cool because it was like, oh my gosh, like you could use his ultimate like that. Like I didn't realize that. Or you can like hover right there and stuff like that. And it was definitely, I think, in my opinion, obviously like Shroud, like he felt like he knew how to play like most of the like characters in a very like smart way, rather than like most people are kind of just playing the same I guess like character and just trying to like be like a one trick, maybe like two trick. But I felt like Shroud like knew how to play every character decent, you know what I mean? And that's why like I feel like he's putting out the best content right now. But as like time goes on, obviously these one tricks are gonna pop off and be like insane with it. And then, you know, like individually, it's not like who is the best player in the game. It's just who is the best this character. You know, like who's the best Jet, who's the best Raze and stuff like that.
Is there any strategy going on, or is everyone just like 1v9ing just to get clips?
For me, I'm just 1v9ing, but I definitely there's people who are doing strategies. Like there are teams, there's scrims right now going on, like in beta. That's crazy. I'm like in a Discord with like these pro players, and there are people who are like practicing like already like, all right, you know, like I'll shoot this angle, I'll throw my smokes here, I'll throw my Molotovs above this building, it'll land exactly on his feet into like U-Haul or like stuff like that. Like it's just crazy. People are already like setting it up, and I'm watching like these pro players like scrim against each other, and honestly, these like CS:GO pros that they're the ones who are doing it, and could I compete against that? I don't know. I mean, like I played a good couple of customs, and I popped off in some of mine, but I think as people start learning these certain like stuff, it's gonna get like really oppressive. Like in CS:GO, when I played against like people who knew how to scrim, I just felt like I was shut down every single time because I never really did that type of stuff. I was a guy who was just playing pubs. I was like lurking and I popped off. I clutched up, but I was never like the guy who sat in there. I never entried. I never wanted to die first. You know, I never wanted to give up my life for that reason. So I was the one who just baited everybody, and so I did well, you know? So for this game, I don't know how it's going to be. Maybe I'll change my mindset. Maybe I'll be the first person to go in as a Jet player and try to pop off and, you know, maybe I'll die, you know, but let my teams do everything. Who knows? We'll just kind of see.
Timmy, the epitome of a team player.
Mm-hmm. Even in Apex, just give me your gold armor, give me your attachment so I can do, you know, I can pop off.
All right, so this next question, I want you to go into detail about this. What is better, Valorant or Apex? And why?
From the amount of time I've been playing Valorant, I've learned a lot, but I feel like Apex is overall a better game. I think 100% Apex is a better game. And I think a lot of people can say that Apex is a better game for a lot of reasons. You know, the BR scene, it was like the best, you know, like everyone enjoyed the BR scene because you didn't have to worry about your teammates' gameplay in a BR, right? There's a lot of people like Ace, me, right? You can name a lot of streamers who are individually good, and we did not need teammates to kill these other players, right? Yes, it did help if you had a teammate, but you could 1v3 in a BR. You like if solos was there, you didn't need a team, you know? This game, Valorant, you need a team. You individually, you could be the best player in the game, and you put up with the worst players on your team, you will not win. You would just not win because of that one reason is it's a team game and Valorant, and just because you have 5 like insane individuals, I don't think it would matter because you need to have strategy. You need to have teamwork in this game. Like the devs versus Shroud's team, right? Or you know, with Summit, Dizzy, Mendo. I'm forgetting the last one. To be honest, did I name 5? Wait, Shroud, Dizzy, Mendo. Flom, it was that last one. Yeah, Flom. It was a 5 really insane players versus 5 of the devs who were ex CS:GO pros, you know, but they had full knowledge of the game because they're devs. They knew Ska Doodle. Yeah, they had full knowledge of the game, where to shoot things. They literally stomped them. It was like they just got like maybe 3-4 rounds, off the devs because they made little human mistakes, But other than that, the devs knew exactly what to do. And it's not something that where you could put the best players and win. You have to have strategy, And me individually, it doesn't like, I can't do anything, if my teammates don't play well or we don't have a strategy. And that's why in Apex, I feel like Apex is a better game, is because even if you verse a 3-man who are really good, it's still possible to beat them to your mechanical abilities, because you can find holes in their, like, in a team's like play. Like if they all push up together, maybe you have to do your best as an individual to separate them. You know what I mean? As a good player, you can somehow find the mistakes. Like I played a lot of pubs. I've played a lot of like scrims. You can find a mistake in a fight, right? Can you win it every time? No, sometimes it's not winnable. But if you're feeling it, you can hit every single shot and you could play it perfectly on your side. It is possible to beat 1v3s in Apex with your movement, your like the fact that you can one-shot somebody, with a mastiff, or you can two-shot somebody, or you can nade somebody, you can stick somebody, right? You do everything right in Apex, you can be rewarded. You do everything right in CS:GO, like they will most likely oppress you, or sorry, in Valorant, they will most likely oppress you out of that situation to the point where you can't have that 1v5 pop off. If they're holding everything correctly and you walk in, you'll most likely die, right? As soon as you shoot this one person, the other guy will peek, and maybe let's say you flick on him, the other guy will peek and you die. You know what I mean? But in Apex, it's not like that. You can't get one shot. You can, but it's very rare that you get one shot in that game, and you can make yourself plays. The overall movement, the BR scene is definitely it's definitely gone down. The trend has gone down, but I think the overall like movement, the healing, the like shooting, the gameplay was just so smooth. And honestly, like you ask people who were like inspirational, like Dizzy, who blew up from there, Ace, who like popped off from there as well. Like even me, I think Apex was definitely just a really great game, and it's definitely 100% better than Valorant. But as time went on and on and on, Apex just had nothing more to offer. Like I could do so much memes in like Apex content, but in Valorant, will I be able to pop off and like do all these meme scenes? No, like I can only do like kick W when something happens. I can't, I can do these rage memes when I die, but can I do like these finisher memes, like when I'm like doing a finisher? There's nothing like that in this game. There's no content that I can like create for my own, rather than just dying or saying something or, popping off. It's like Fortnite, how they had like their own like, like these emotes or these dances, stuff like that. Like you can make content from it. And that's like the enjoyable side from Apex. In these 5v5s, there's not that much enjoyable like free content that like these casual players can do, rather than just having fun with like the friends.
So you talked about Apex, in which that when you want to get good enough, which means that you go off and you work on your mechanics in order to be able to enjoy the game, be able to play the game effectively and have fun and be able to stream. So with Valorant, if you continue to really push for Valorant, it really is a team-based game. So does that mean that it's running strats and communication, IGL, and building that in your free time?
I'm sorry. Can you say that one more time?
So
I was reading chat because they're spamming something, and I was not listening.
That's fine. So with Apex, you focused on the mechanics. You worked on your individual skill, and when it came to IGL, you didn't really focus on that as much, and it's not that important for you. But with Valorant, it's all about the IGL. It's all about the in-game communication, the strats. So does that mean that if you really do push more towards Valorant, that you're going to be spending your free time in strats, communication, and running plays as opposed to just mechanics?
So right now, I've done pretty well mechanics wise, but it's not exactly where I want it to be. There's times where I just miss an entire clip on somebody, or sometimes I'm shooting somebody, I'm like, oh my god, please hit him. Like I'm just freaking out because I know my chat is gonna say something, and I know I'm not at a level where I'm like confident where I can be mechanically like good at the game. Yes, aim transfers, things transfer, but I'm not at the like the top performing level as I want to be, and I'm just gonna slowly keep on improving. But as me individually, I can only IGL my team so much. I play with people who are not that good, and it's okay. You know, like you don't have to be the best player. You don't have to be trying to be the best player. But you know, like there's people who need a little bit of IGL guidance. You know, and I can tell you as much. Yeah, but if you don't listen to it, nothing's gonna happen, right? I can play with Devin, and I'll be like, "Hey, Devin, can you do this? Can you smoke this off?" And he'll listen. You know, obviously, like we play, you know, we IGL all the time, and we're pro players. We all try to like improve and like, okay, you know, like maybe he's learned something. You know, maybe he doesn't want to listen to what I do, but he does. You know, he'll put his gadget somewhere else because he's, you know, he's spent his alone time doing that. Nice, but maybe he might listen to my call because he might be okay. Maybe what Timmy says is right, you know, maybe this will pop off, maybe this is a good idea, you know. And it's like all about testing right now, but until you kind of have like your team set up or like these people that you kind of like are playing consistently with, you like there's no strategy. Like I can't like go spend my time like building strategies for a team that won't do it, you know what I mean, won't listen when I say something. And there's people I'm like, hey, can you smoke this off? They just don't do it, you know what I mean? Or hey, yeah, you know, like, hey, can you do this and then play here? Like some people just don't like have the patience for this game, and they'll realize it sooner enough that this is kind of like the style that they have to play. Is you kind of have to just sit there and just wait till something happens. You can't make your own things happen sometimes unless like that's your like role or you're on the side of the map that can do it. Like I play like solo on like this one map, you know, by myself. I just wait until I hear something. That's all I do. And then when I hear something, I say, or see somebody, I say, hey, rotate. That's it. But some people I'm watching on my map when there's nothing on my side, they're like going and they're peeking mid to try to get like a good pick. In reality, he should just sit there and wait for people to come in, and we would win every single time. But he wants to make a good play. He wants to be the reason why we win the round. And because of that reason, we lose, you know? And you know, I mean, like, I can't blame you. Like, you don't want to sit there. That's boring, you know? Or you want to be a star player, or you want to pop off. And I'm not going to be like, oh my God, like, you're the fault, like, you're the reason why we're losing. I'm not going to say anything, you know what I mean? I think it, I'm like, oh, you know, like, maybe you shouldn't have done that. Maybe you should wait. I'll, you know, might say it one time, but if he doesn't want to listen, other than that, then it's like, okay, it's a whatever. You know, it's like, it's not like I'm competing or anything like that against these guys, with these guys, you know? So.
Closing thoughts on Valorant.
It's a really good game. I think it will last pretty long, in my opinion. Will it like beat or like destroy any other game? No. Will it beat like destroy CS:GO? No. I think CS:GO is like you have to kind of compare like CS:GO and Valorant because they're pretty much the same game. I don't think it will like kill the game or like make people be like, oh, you know, CS:GO is nowhere as good as Valorant. I don't think so. At the end of the day, it's two different games, right? Fortnite is a different game from Apex, you know? If you don't like building, then you don't play that game, you know? If there's a game that's exactly like Fortnite, you know, maybe, you know, you can compare. But other than that, it's like the games when they come out, they don't really kill a game because you have to realize these top streamers, right? Like the ones who are content like Summit1G, if he plays Warzone, you know, like, yeah, like cool, his views kind of do matter, but like his viewers are always going to just follow him. So wherever he goes, you know, matters. You have to kind of look at the count of like, all right, the streamers who are there originally and they're going to stay there forever, that's kind of how you have to view it. Because, you know, if all these top streamers come from this game and then they, you know, a new game comes out and they move over here, the viewerships are obviously going to just disappear. In reality, they only had like, let's say 100K viewers just to begin with without the big streamers, you know, and it looks like they die. The game is like, oh, they dying because this other game is, you know, out. But in reality, it wasn't like that. You know, Apex, right? Yeah, we lost Energy Asu because he's like the biggest streamer. You know, we lost him. But in reality, like, yeah, you lost one of the biggest streamers for the game. But who's still there? Like Imperial Hal is still there. You know, we have, you know, like Nicewig, we have Datush. Yeah, they're playing Valorant. They're trying it out. Like, why not try a new game? But in reality, they're gonna probably stay on that game until like another game comes out, or maybe, you know, when, you know, Valorant gets like console, you know, or like you can like play with the controller, because you know that is a big thing about Apex. You can play with it on a controller, so you're not gonna lose your community, you know.
3 things that we don't know about you, but we should.
I don't know. I've literally said everything about my life on stream before.
All right, then what are 3 things that you said about your life on stream? That you like talking about.
Okay. I think I guess my personality itself. I was a very shy person. In school, I never really went out to make friends either. I couldn't talk to somebody. I was very nervous. I think people can still tell that. When I meet somebody new, I don't know how to talk to them. I don't know how to start a conversation. Be like, hey, like, how are you? Like, hey, what's up? Stuff like that. It's very like hard for me, and I was very shy. I couldn't be open. I couldn't talk to anybody because all my life kind of consisted of was video games, you know. And at the time, video games was not, wow, you know, like, you play video games, dang, you know, you do that for a living. Even like right now, people are like, they still be like, oh, okay, you know, like, you stream for a living, like, I don't get it, you know. They still don't understand, you know. But like, talking to gamers, I was it kind of transferred over. Like, I still was nervous. I didn't know how to like make conversation. Like, oh, heck, I can only be like, oh, how are your other games? You know, like, how was your day? You know, but other than that, I can never be like very personal. Like, I just don't know how. I'm just very too nervous, too shy. And then that's something that will most likely always be there. Like, yeah, I can say embarrassing things all the time. I could say things with my chat, but when it comes with someone like new to like one-on-one, like, hey, you know, like, how are you doing? It's really hard, for sure. I think another thing is, let's see. I've said it multiple times, but I've almost died a couple of times. Yeah, actually, I was in a car accident. Yeah, I was in a car accident and it hit my side of the car. Very, very, like, it felt like I was in slow-mo when it happened. Like, it hit the side of the car was like moving, and like, as like the car was like spinning, it was like I was like just there, and I was just like, I could see everything just slow-mo, like the glass kind of just coming from like the window shattering, and then everything just came back instantly. Like, it was like a 1 second like experience. I was like, whoa, what happened? You know, like, no way this just happened. And then like, it was like, no, I just didn't feel anything. Like, I felt like I was fine, and then 2 seconds later, everything just like all the pain just started going through, and I just couldn't breathe and everything. And it was like I don't know, it was crazy. Yeah, so like that happened. I also fell. Like, I was at like my friend's like lake house, and then we were like by like the water, and like there was like a ramp, concrete ramp going towards like the water, so like it's like the boat can come like in and out of the water, and then like it was like very slippery there because like the water or something like that. I don't know, but I was like on it, and like, I slipped on it and I hit my head on the also like concrete, and I got like a concussion. And that was that was a time. That's probably like why, you know, yeah. You know, but other than that, I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I've experienced a lot of stuff in life, and I don't know, I'm good. I'm chilling.
I think it's interesting that you talk about how shy you are, even with gamers, because I would think that, you know, that you would feel more open about talking with people who have the same language as you.
Yeah.
But also, it's ironic because how vocal and open and honest you are with, you know, 1,000+ people. So was that always the case when you started streaming, that you just felt that much more comfortable talking to chat and just broadcasting to 1,000 people?
Yeah, I mean, when I talk to chat, it's just different, you know what I mean? Like, they're not voices. I don't feel like I stutter a lot now. I don't know why, but or like whenever I just talk to chat, it kind of feels like no one's there, but also like people are there. You know what I mean? Someone's always like wondering like what's happening. I can always like, oh yeah, like this is how I feel, etc., etc. But it's like they can kind of motivate me to do better. You know, like whenever people are actually like being like, oh my god, you're so good, you're insane, that Pog, that was nuts, right? I just actually play better, you know. But like when people are just kind of like not talking, I don't feel like I can be funny. I'm just like kind of just there, right? But when people are like, oh my god, like you're nuts, you know, I'm like, oh thanks, like, you know, I read in my mind like, oh thanks man, you know. And like I you know, like next round I'm about to pop off, you know. And I just felt like I could be myself definitely on stream, because even if someone were to judge me, it's like they're mostly gonna get banned, and there's never really affected me. Those comments really never like affected me, because it's just like, oh, you know, like I don't have this like I guess like voice just pressuring me, you know what I mean, to like not mess up. Because if I mess up, in reality they'll just leave the channel, you know. Like if I am not entertaining enough, I'm not like funny, or I'm not like talking, they'll leave the channel. But some people will stay no matter what. But if it's like a person I'm actually talking to, I feel like I'm like pressured sometimes to like say something, or they won't, or say something, or say something right, or they won't like me. And that was a lot of people like gave me that like impression. There's only very few amount of like people who just made me feel super comfortable when I first started talking to them or playing with them. Yeah.
I spent some time with a YouTuber who we were spending most of the day together, and at one point he just kind of like sighed and put his head down and just said, oh man, I got to do something like entertaining or like fun or like, and it was just this idea of like constantly, at least once a day, it's like I have to be entertaining. I have to like put on a show. For you, do you feel like you have to put on a show, or is it more of like you get to be yourself, or you get to put on a show, or like do you see it as an opportunity, or how do you see it?
I feel like I'm forced to do it sometimes. A lot of my community very like kind of like whenever I played bad on the qualifiers, people were like, oh, and it's okay, Timmy, you played really good today, you know, like even if you didn't, you know, qualify, like we still like care, love it, like love you and stuff like that. But there's a lot of the other community on like the other side of the community who is like, play memes, do this now, do this, play this game, you know. Like they're like, it's like, why haven't you memed? It's been 10 seconds since you know did the last meme. I'm like, come on man, I'm just trying to play the game, you know. Like I feel like I can't do certain things. I can't like be myself because, you know, like people said, like play this meme for me. Oh, like can you do that, like the moan thing for me? Or can you play this game? Can you play with this person? It's just like I feel like I can't do my own stream sometimes. I have to do what they want me to do, you know. And like even like with Valorant, right? Like I stream Apex, I get like 1,000 to like 2,000 viewers, right? I stream Apex, sorry, I stream Valorant and I get like 200, right? Until like everyone starts going off. And it's obviously because like people are trying to get drops, you know, these big channels have drops and stuff like that. But like even like right now, like we have like 350 people watching, and these are the people who will always watch and support me, and I appreciate that, you know. But the other people, they don't care unless I'm playing Apex, and those people are also the people who are like, do this for me, play this for me, play with this person, you know. Like these are the actual people who will just watch and comment like normal people, you know, and won't judge me, you know. Yeah, and like this is like the time, like if I like felt like, hey, you know, I'm gonna go play Valorant, or I'm gonna do just chatting, or I'm gonna watch a movie or play a horror game, I don't have to feel like I need to do anything, you know. I can just sit there, not even play a single meme for the entire stream, and they won't do. I don't feel pressured. But every time I play Apex, I feel like I'm like forced to do something. Like I have to be funny. I have to make content. I have to, you know, I use my grapple and throw myself off the map, or throw myself into like a team just to die and make content, you know. Yeah.
Well, I gotta say, you make some of the most entertaining content on Twitch. Like watching your clips or watching your stream, it feels like I'm watching like an edited video. the way that you produce it.
Yeah.
And then second, like, it's great to have that fan base. It's great to have, that core group of people who, no matter what you do, like, they support you. So that's, yeah, it's kind of nice. I have rapid fire questions, and then we'll head out. This is by James Lipton. Yeah, the Inside the Actor Studio guy. So rapid fire, you ready? Are you ready? Yeah. I'm going to ask you questions, and you can rapid fire. You ready?
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
All
Okay.
right.
So I have to answer it quickly? Can I not think?
Yeah, you can think. You can think. All right, ready?
Yeah.
What's
okay.
your favorite word?
Hold up. Give me 1 second. I got you. That one.
Okay. Least favorite word.
I don't know. Actually, I don't. I feel like there's. I wish I stopped saying like. Yeah. I say that word a lot, and I wish I stopped. Yeah, saying that.
What turns you on?
My girlfriend.
What turns you off?
People might chat sometimes. A lot of people in my chat when they tell me to do something. Like when someone's like telling me to like do something because they want me to, rather than like because I want to do it. Yeah.
What sound or noise do you love?
Sound.
I was waiting for you to hit a macro.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I was trying to think. I don't actually know. I mean, it's not really like an actual sound, or just like
Or noise, whatever.
no sir.
Okay, fair enough. That works. All right, and sound or noise that you hate?
I don't really like the static noise sometimes, like the TV static noise. That kind of bothers me.
Favorite curse word?
Puppy fuck. not like that.
Oh, that's good. That's good. All right. What profession other than your own would you attempt?
Nothing. I feel like if I wasn't a streamer, I would just do my best to become like a streamer, like a gamer, you know? Yeah.
What profession would you not like to do? I guess you answered that. Everything.
Yeah. Honestly, everything.
And if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
You did it. Or you made it, something like that. Yeah.
All right. Well, Timmy, we did it. We made it.
Pog.
You were released from your servitude for Golden Guardians. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You did it. Let's go.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. We stopped streaming.